So we're going to tackle food packaging, and in food packaging design you want to use as little material as possible, ideally recyclable materials, and of course you want to protect the contents of your packaging for as long as possible. And we're going to tackle this using the TRIZ contradiction matrix. And when we're using the TRIZ contradiction matrix, we're looking for an improving parameter and a worsening parameter. In this case, our improving parameter might be the duration of action of the stationary object, the packaging, and our worsening parameter might be the quantity of substance. And you can actually see these in one of the left-hand columns on your charts. And the left-hand column signifies the improving parameters, but the numbers correspond to the worsening parameters along the top row. So if you can find the intersection between our improving parameter, which is row 16, and our worsening parameter, quantity of substance, column 26, that will help us identify the principles of invention that the TRIZ contradiction matrix is suggesting to us. And I think in this case, these are principles 3, 35, and 31. And the order is important because the order gives an indication of the priority with which we ought to try and tackle our challenge with. And the order suggested in the TRIZ chart gives an indication of the order of significance that previous challenges have been addressed using these principles in the most effective manner. So in this case, Principle 3 stands for local quality. Principle 35 is the transforming the physical or chemical state of an object. And Principle 31 is the porous materials principle. So what we're going to do is we're going to tackle this challenge using these principles and see how we get on. So over to you. Grab a sheet of paper. Let's write, draw using these principles. You can use the sheets as prompts and just have a go with the recommended principles. We know the principle names, local quality, transforming the physical or chemical state, and porous materials. Local quality, with this principle, it need not be assumed that the current use or location of parts in a system cannot be changed. Local quality involves identifying specific parts and changing or moving them so that they can operate at optimal conditions. This may involve changing an object's structure from uniform to non-uniform, or making each part of a system fulfill a different or complementary function. The transforming the physical or chemical state of an object principle, Principle 35, this involves altering an object in some way, such as changing its temperature, the concentration of compounds, or its density can sometimes provide overall benefits. Principle 31, the porous materials principle, allows some substances a porous material allows some substances to pass through it while filtering out or blocking others. This principle can be useful for separating or filtering out undesirable items or substances, and it involves making an object porous or adding porous elements, or if an object is already porous and this is undesirable, filling the pores in advance with some kind of substance. So these are the recommended principles from TRIZ. We're going to use these to see if they're useful in some way for our challenge of food packaging and ensuring the function and recyclability of our food packaging. Now we could spend ages on this and a lot more time, but I'm just going to interrupt us now and just see what ideas are emerging. So maybe just take a look at your sheets and maybe pick one idea each that we might wish to share. Okay, so we've very quickly grabbed hold of the TRIZ contradiction matrix, which has prompted us with some principles to consider, probably principles that we wouldn't have gone to immediately. We could have gone down the whole list and looked at them and tried them one by one. But what the TRIZ contradiction matrix does is it guides you using previous experience from equivalent challenges to really hone in on some suggested principles to try. And that's what you've done. And it seems like you've come up with some quite interesting ideas already. So thank you very much.